October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red, and I am very, very happy to be joined once again. See, I'm that excited, I can't even get my words out. By the main man himself, the one and only Mr. Peter Fury. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you, Abs. It's nice speaking with you. It's been a long time as well, hasn't it?
It's been a minute, but what I do want to say is a belated Merry Christmas, and obviously we've got the new year coming in to you and your lovely family, the lovely wife, and obviously I've met Huey and I think one of your other sons.
Thank you very much, and and all the best to the new year for you as well.
Yeah, Peter. So much has gone on since we spoke. There's so many things that we can touch on. But I want to end on a really positive note. So I'm going to touch on something that's recently happened in the news. It's all over the place in the boxing news. Is Anthony Joshua, unfortunately, being in a car crash where there were two fatalities involved, which I believe are potentially two of his friends. I mean, off such a high, to end in such tragedy whilst, relaxing on holiday after you've done your work and you've earned your money.
Well, what it shows us that we've got to hold our loved ones very close to us because we just don't know what tomorrow brings. I've got close friends of mine and they're okay one minute and the next minute they've got like a terminal disease and stuff. So you just don't know what tomorrow brings, but I'm very, very sad to look at that news and wake up to that this morning. And also showing him where he's in distress. You can clearly see he looks shocked. And I don't agree with all these cameras in your face and everywhere. There's no privacy at all, is there?
No.
On such a low point in AJ's life like that, to be paraded on camera. The fella's clearly in shock. They've gone through a major accident. And he's lost two of his closest friends as well. So I can only imagine, so my condolences, all my family, my direct family's condolences go out to him and all of his families. It's beyond tragic. It's a very sad situation what's happened, but what can we do? The accidents are called accidents for a reason. It's an accident. So it doesn't make things any better. What can you say? The people that's passed over, his friends, may they have eternal glory in heaven and rest in peace. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean,
what's happened, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a shock to see on the news, and obviously at the first glimpse, you're thinking, oh, is he okay? But then as you read on, it's two people, and I think one of them he'd shared on his Instagram. I think they were playing table tennis or whatever. The highs and the lows of the sport, Peter. I mean, like this time last week, he was going viral because all the women in America were like, practically throwing their knickers off at him and celebrating his glorious win against the YouTuber Jake Paul. And then practically a week later, you just don't know what's going to happen, do you?
There'll be a lot running through his mind, how come he survived? He'll feel guilty about that, losing his friends.
Survivor's guilt, yeah.
There'll be a lot of things going on, but he's got to understand it's out of his hands. By the looks of it, he's a passenger sat in the back. So he's had no play in it. There's nothing he could have done. He's lucky to be alive. So he's got to thank God for them mercies that he's still here. Very unfortunate for his other two friends, but there's nothing anybody can say or do. But it's very, very tragic for everyone involved and all the families involved, because it's only the people that's close to you and your loved ones that actually feel it the most.
Yeah.
It's a 10-day wonder for everybody else, but when people's very close to you and you think a lot of them, they stay with you, don't they? It's very sad. There's nothing more to be said on it. It's a very, very sad situation, and I hope he recovers well from it.
Yeah, speedy recovery. to Anthony Joshua, and obviously sincere condolences to the family and close friends for those two
Definitely.
gentlemen that didn't make it.
I was speaking to my son Joe. You know, he knows them very well, the people who's deceased, and he said,
dear.
absolute gentlemen. He said the pair of them, because he knows them. He knows AJ as well, and yeah, very, very sad. Even my son was upset with it. He said, you know, it's it makes you realise, like I said, today and tomorrow is not promised. Anything can happen at any given moment.
Yeah, it definitely can. Boxing is something that, I'll tell you what, Peter, it's literally, you're on top of the world 1 minute and then you're scraping around in the dirt the next. It literally is, it's snakes and ladders, whether it's the experiences that you have as a fighter in the ring or the experiences that you have outside of the ring. It's just magnified more because you're seen by everybody on the TV. So it's like you can't even get to hide yourself away and maybe have a little bit of solace, a bit of quiet to yourself because, you know, like you said, people filming, you know, it's just like, get the cameras out of here. You know, it's not appropriate.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's something that if I see an accident, the last thing I'm going to do is get a phone out.
You imagine?
That one to photograph these gory things, you know. Some things should be private and kept private. So, but it's the world we live in. So we are where we are. But I think there's a lot of people going through a lot of torment and toil in the world, isn't there? So that's why when things are going good and there's peace in your household, long may it continue.
Yeah. Speaking of,
It can change, can't it? As we've
yeah.
just seen, changes.
Yeah. I'm going to move on and speak about another fighter that you've had something to do with, a fighter that boxed Moses Atauma, Dillian White. I didn't get to catch up with you after obviously he had his fight with Moses Atauma. I don't know if you've had much to do with Moses, but obviously I know that you know Dillian of old. What did you think of that fight, and what do you think that Dillian should do next? There was some rumours potentially that he should be going in with Derek Chisora, but that seems to be a bit stop-start. I mean, what's your opinion, Peter?
I think, look, all these heavyweights, they've got to do the best they can. You know, it's a loss there. Atauma is very explosive. He's very sharp. He's young. He's aggressive. You know, he ticks a lot of boxes. He come up to the gym. He come and sparred up in the gym. The only thing I can say, when I seen him, I was impressed with him. He's a good fighter. So good luck to him. Good luck to Dillian White. Dillian White, brush yourself off. If he doesn't need the money, why is he still continuing? But if he's got the hunger and desire still, good luck to him.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to try and get Dillian back on the channel to obviously speak about that and speak about what he should potentially be doing. But Derek Chisora is a name that comes up as well. You know, he's looking to have his 50th fight. He's popping up everywhere like, where's Wally? But there's no potential like fight announcement. What do you think about Derek Chisora? And he's kind of had a little bit of a resurgence with his career. You think that's it? And then he just comes back and does some stuff and wins.
Derek's done his apprenticeship in boxing. Nobody can say anything about Derek. Derek's worked hard. He's took his losses. He's bit on his gum shield and he keeps coming back. So you got to give the man credit. So good luck to him.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing him. And speaking of that, Huey, potential fight between them two. I know that obviously Huey's back out. He's just had his fight with Webster. Well done on that as well. What do you think about that? And what is Huey up to next?
Huey's in heavy camp at the moment, and we're looking to try and get a big fight together for him in late February, March. So that's where we are. So
interesting.
We're looking to try and finalize something. Anybody who wants to fight Huey needs to get in touch. So it is. We are where we are.
Yeah, because sometimes he struggles with opponents. The opponents seem to drop out at the last minute. The fight seemed to fall through. A bit frustrating for him because he started off so well and it's just been a little bit stop-start for him.
Well, we'd have liked him to get rounds in the last one, so it's very disappointing what happened there.
Yeah.
we are where we are again, you know. So main thing is he he done 3 minutes and got out. It was like he hadn't even started. So we are where we are with that one, but that's one that's going to be forgotten very quickly, I think. And we just
Yeah.
we need good fights, and hopefully we can get them.
Gradus Kraus, a fighter that you've backed from the beginning. You're friends with his father, involved with training his father, involved with training him. Somebody that you brought over to the UK, built up really well on the GBM shows with Izzy Asif. Really great work. I've been there, as you know, in the gyms in Birmingham. I've seen him spar. I know what he's capable of. I know that he's got a lot of potential. So when I saw Ben Shalom, like, said, oh, we've got, you know, a great signing to announce, I was thinking, who is this? And then when I saw it, I thought, tactical, good signing. But obviously, over to you, Peter, because I get why you signed him, but obviously it's over to you.
Obviously, it's a business as well. And, you know, Ben Shalom, he put a fantastic deal together. It was a great offer. He totally believes in him. And he just said, you know, and I do believe the offer that Ben's put forward is very good, which reflects how much he must believe in Gratus. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the man's put his money where his mouth is. So do I think he'll perform? Yes, I do. Do I think he'll get him the fights he needs? Yes, because if I didn't, Gratus wouldn't be signed there. So the deal made sense. So yeah, we discussed it. Me and Izzy discussed it because, like you said, he's been on Izzy's platform, GBM, from the start, and he's part of the story. You know, he's part of that. He's part of that deal. He's still involved in the management side of things. He's not the promoter. Ben Shalom's the promoter, but is he still involved on the managerial side? So he's still part of the team. He's still with Gratus. So we are where we are.
With all the stick, and Ben Shalom seems to get quite a lot of stick. It's a very competitive market. Obviously, things fell through with him and Sky Sports, and then obviously he manages to move over to BBC and land a deal with them. Often fights BBC 2, BBC 3, iPlayer. What do you think about it? And obviously, you've got to have that trust in Ben that it's the right thing for Gratus. Like you said, it's a business. So how much do you believe in Ben? Like you said, the offers are great and you believe that Ben believes in him. But that momentum, that moving forward, are you confident that Ben is definitely the right promoter? And I mean that in no insultive way for Gratus.
You know, it's not a case whether I believe in anything. It's a case where everything's documented. And, you know, if Ben doesn't perform, then he doesn't perform. You know, but I'm of the opinion that he will perform. I know certain things about this deal which is not public, which will become public later on, and it's highly beneficial for Gratus. So I think, you know, for us to take that deal for Gratus, we obviously believe that it's the best route for him, and I believe it is. And I'm very happy for Gratus. I'm very happy for his father, who put so much work in. He trains his son day and night. So, you know, I know what it is to get these opportunities, and they're few and far between. And let's not forget, it shows you the level of where he's at, Gratus, and the belief they've got in him. Because let's not forget, he's Dutch, and he's signed up with an English UK promoter, and he's going to be on UK television. So that's a big thing in itself, because you look at other foreign fighters coming abroad from Europe, in England, you know, it's not the same. So it just shows you where he's at. So I believe he's a super talent. I've always said he is. And and so far he's had a great year. He's had 9 fights. He's the IBF European champion. You know, he demolished his man in quick time. But the thing I will say with Gratus is he's already had fights where he's been tested. You know, so he's had 1 or 2 fights where, you know, that was a good fight he had with Scott Forrest as well. So he's
Good opponent.
not somebody, and he gave nearly 2 stone away as well in that fight, but he's not somebody that's going to get it and he's going to buckle. And you see many of these young talents, haven't you, where they're okay when the going's good. And when they're in a sticky situation, they seem to flail at the seams. This is not Gradus Kraus, by the way. Gradus Kraus is a monster. Gradus Kraus, you know, has got to be shouted at by his dad at times to move his head and miss the punches, because you know what he says? He loves getting hit. You know, that's the type of guy this is, and he's absolutely, he trains like a Trojan. I've never seen anybody train like him. You know, so he's like a machine, this kid, and he's a phenomenal talent. So I'm really looking forward to it, because why I'm so excited about him is because this kid can really dig deep in the trenches, you know, for round after round after round. So he ticks a lot of boxes. So I'm excited to see his future. So yeah, I think it's I think we're going to see big things in 2026 for Gratus.
He's relentless. That's one of the words that I'd use to describe him. I've watched, like I said, I've seen him fight on TV, but I've also been in the gym and watched him spar.
Yeah, of course you have. You've seen him.
And the thing is, like, Peter, as a boxing fan, you know, I don't want to get too excited about a fighter, because I feel like it almost puts a jinx on him. It puts a bad omen. And then you start saying, like me, this is my point of view from my mouth. You say, yeah, this guy's really great. And then it doesn't happen. So it's like, with certain fighters, I've had to basically shut my gob and let the fighter go out and prove the point, you know. And I get that feeling with Gratus. I'm excited. I was really happy about the signing. Like I said, I've seen him. But it's like, okay, don't say anything. Let him get out there on a main platform and start showing the fans what he's really about.
Well, it's one way to find out, you know. Ben's going to get him in good fights. He's going to keep him very busy, which is what we want. Because Gratus has had 9 fights. He needs to keep that momentum going, keep him busy. Good fights come, they come. If they don't get good fights, he's going to keep him busy fights. So that's it. So he's going to be kept busy. But not being built because he's had 9 fights and he needs a lot more. If they can get him any type of a fight whatsoever in his next fight on the 31st of January, he's taking it. Doesn't matter. He's at that level. He'll take anybody that there is available.
Break that down for me, Peter, because we often hear about fighters who, like, certain number of fights in, we've got to build them, we've got to take it slowly with them, you know that pace. But you've basically nullified that and said, no, whoever wants to jump in there with him can. What's that switch in mindset for him then, Peter?
Well, it's his ability. You know, look, some fighters has to be nurtured. Some fighters are not ready. Some fighters you've got to build. You know, it depends on the fighter. This is a fighter that's elite level. So when I say somebody's elite level, then that would be contradictory, wouldn't it? If somebody else come up and said, "Oh, we're not ready for him yet," that'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? So I wouldn't say that. So anybody that's listening to this interview, and you think you're too good and you want to fight Gratus, I'm not about somebody who's got no record, but somebody who's good that wants to fight Gratus next on the 31st, get yourself a good payday and get in there. Because I'll tell you now, Gratus will be. You know, when I talk to Gratus and his father, you know what they say? Peter, I just hope we get a good fight. That's the mentality. Because they know how good they are, and they want to prove it against quality fighters. You know, look, you can knock a tin can over and basically that doesn't do anything. But when people see you beat a quality opponent, people sit up and they start giving it the attention it deserves. So that's where they're coming from. That's what they want. So yeah, it's definitely exciting for Gratus and his dad.
What makes us the different types of fighter then, Peter? Because he's ambitious. He's just like, I want a challenge. I need to be challenged. I need to prove that I'm a good fighter. What is it where some fighters don't necessarily want that challenge and they're okay to have, the fights to get them through the rounds, the fights to build them up? What differentiates between the two types of fighters there, Peter?
Well, I don't think where it's complicated. It's either they're either ready or they're not. Some fighters need building, and some fighters are so good that they can deal with what's around the domestic scene. The European level. Look, ideally we'd like a world title shot for Gratus at the end of 26. Mm-hmm. So that's the level we see where his capabilities are. So the better the opponent, the better this kid's going to be. So let's see. So we're highly confident, back him all the way, and I tip him for big things.
We know that we've just seen Craig Richards versus Dan Aziz. That was a very good match. We saw Brad Ray versus Lyndon Arthur. We had Zach Parker versus Joshua Buatsi. And then we've had Ben Whittaker. He fought a German fellow. His name does skip my mind. When you think about those fighters, and you think about those going in with Gradus Kraus, when you look at their styles, or I know you'd have all of them, but which one would you look at to say, you know what, that's tasty for Gratus? That's a tasty fight.
I think all the names are tasty for Gratus because the names you mentioned there, they're all good fighters.
They are.
But these are the type of fights that he needs. So any of these type of fights, if they can be made, they'd be great, wouldn't they? So these are the type of fights that we want to have for him. So hopefully these can be made because, as you said, they're quality fighters. So yeah, then there's only one way to find out and put them in with each other.
I know what he's capable of, so I'm looking forward to seeing him go out there. I'm looking forward to seeing him really challenge himself because it's almost like sometimes he's on autopilot. He just goes in there, ding dong, bish bash bosh. He seems to have more fun on his walkouts than actually in there. He's almost like he's on autopilot when he's in there. So I do feel like he needs that challenge or somebody that's going to potentially come to challenge him. So he has to think a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he actually has got, and I really want Boxer to deliver for him. What do you think how Ben's coming out of this anyway with the promotional stuff? Like I said, you've been around boxing forever, and the one thing I will say that I do respect about Ben Shalom is he doesn't give up. He's not quitting. Doesn't matter what they throw at him. It doesn't matter what happens. He's just there. He keeps on coming back, and he's like, nope, I'm not going anywhere.
He's a young man, isn't he? So he's coming through. Of course, he's going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes when we're younger. So give everybody a chance to redeem themselves. People make mistakes in life. I've made a ton of mistakes. I made more mistakes than I can count. So we are where we are, aren't we? We just got to do our best. Look, when you're in a spotlight, it's even easy for people to say, oh, what about this? What about that? What about that? Listen, he's a young promoter in the game. And look, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So he's on with it. And the best of luck to the kid. Let him just do his thing. So but what's my opinion? Ben Shalom is either going to put up or shut up. It's one of them, isn't it? He's either going to perform for Gratus or it's all been a load of shit and he can't. There's no ifs and buts about it. But do I believe he will? I do believe he will. And I think he knows just how special Gratus is. And the difference is he signed a fighter that believes wholeheartedly that he's unbeatable. And there's not a man out there that can do any good with him on this planet. He believes that. His father believes that. So, and it's my job with the team to try and make that happen. So that's where we are.
That is where we are. I'm going to cover one more of your fighters. Then there's something that's popped up that I want to speak about, but we'll get onto that anyway. But I've got to ask about Matty Harris. What is happening with him? Another fighter that seems to be a little bit stop-start. the activity just doesn't seem to be there. I know he's with Wasserman Promotion. Is he going to end up going to Misfits Pro to get more activity? I mean, what's going on with Matty?
Well, Matty's he's been doing some sparring. He's been helping us out. He's been joining us in camp, and his fight fell through. He was ill, so that's no fault of his own. He'd have had a fight by now, but he fell over because he got extremely ill. Actually, took him weeks and weeks to recover, but caught some virus. But yeah, he's up and down. He's sparring. He's active. And he's training. But like I touched on there, some fighters take longer than others for the penny to drop.
Yeah.
So I'm a patient man, and I'm looking at Matty Harris, and when I see the penny drop, it drops. For now, he's a young heavyweight learning his trade. And we'll just keep giving him the fights, keeping him busy until the penny drops, and sooner or later he will. He's massively talented. He's got a lot of talent. He's just got to have that, I don't know, that bit of maturity there, and it'll come as and when it comes. Some things you can't rush in boxing. And, you've just got to let fighters, especially heavyweights, they've got to come into their own when they're ready. So it's a case of in the gym, working away, keep getting the fights, steady, building, and let's see. And when he's ready to let off the leash, then I'll let you know.
I admire that honesty about him, because sometimes we can blow a lot of smoke around fighters and then they can come up short. So it's good to say that you don't judge every fight. It's like, yep, this is the Peter Fury of schooling. This is the way we do things. And you're all going to be at this level by a certain amount of time, and you treat them all like the robots. It's like, no, these guys are individuals. I know where such and such is, and I know where that one is. And we have to almost like, it's like you're carving out a separate path for each fighter, so it fits and suits them, so they end up benefiting off it rather than throwing them right into the deep end and then they're drowning.
But Matty Harris is a lovely kid. He comes from a good family, very polite lad, and everything there. And he's got talent. But he gets plenty of stick as well, because he's got to be mentally grown as well as physicality. Physicality is only part of it. Look, if I say things, that they don't like, and they get offended by it, then they're not growing, because they're not mentally able to
take criticism. Yeah,
exactly. You've got to be broken down in this sport, broken to pieces, as a matter of fact, and built back up if you want to be a champion. So that's where it is. So there's no airs and graces here. They get told where they're at and what they need to do to go to the next level. But they're lucky because they've got somebody like me who's got a pair of eyes in their 2 ears that can see where they need to be going and what they need to be doing. So steady improvements he's making, Matty Harris. So yeah, he's majorly talented, but he's got to unlock that potential. As of this moment, he's still working to unlock it, but he is improving. So that's where we are.
I like that. Peter, you, like myself, keep yourself to yourself, really. Don't bother anybody, low profile. I get it, because
I try to be best.
Yeah, you do. But then the other day, an article popped up in a leading British tabloid, The Sun. I only brushed over the headlines. I didn't read it in its entirety. But it was, they had a lot to say about you, Peter. But then I saw that you sort of rebutted it, refuted it. But I mean, in your words, what happened? Was your house bugged or something?
Well, basically, I don't talk to the press.
Yeah, I know.
So tabloids, to me, I don't speak to them. I just seen exclusive to this paper, the Sun or whatever. I've never done an exclusive with any paper. I don't talk to papers. I don't talk to papers and tabloids because I've never, ever, ever had a good write-up. They've slaughtered me for years in all the tabloids. And I get it. I get it because shit sells. Yeah? Bad news, cringe shit sells. So that's why I don't talk to tabloids. Because I'm not a fool sat here. I know exactly who I'm going to speak to and who I don't. But on this occasion, somebody came to see me, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you how much of a fair man I am. I'm giving this journalist every opportunity under the sun to put this right and give me an apology. Yeah? And if I don't get it, he's been part of this scam, this scheme to assassinate my character, because that's what they've tried to do in that paper, let's be honest. Yeah. There's nothing good about it. I'm glorifying crime. It's like I'm proud of what I've done. So what message is that putting out to young kids on the street? So to sell a piece of paper, you know, totally the opposite of what's been said. There was things in the paper which has never been said to anyone ever. So I don't know how that's got in there. So there's things made up. You know, there's things like hunted by MI5. I thought MI5 dealt with terrorism, not drugs. You know, over the years when I was locked up many, many years ago, and this is what I mean, they probably pick snippets out of a conversation what's happened years ago on social medias and stuff. Absolute garbage. And you get a lot of unused material when you're fighting cases and stuff. And obviously, I've been all over the world and I've done certain things. And obviously, I've seen intelligence reports there from even the DEA and people like that, from the States, wherever. Because you do see it. And I've seen people like, you know, maybe MI5 had a glimpse at me some years ago. And then he thought, yeah, no, that case is shut. We're not interested in him. He's not up to any of that carry on. Move on. Doesn't mean to say I'm hunted by MI5, for Christ's sake. What they're trying to say, like, I've got some explosive tied to me back and I'm going to go in the centre and blow it up or something. It's cringe-worthy reading crap. That's what it is. So it's not reality. And that's it. So I can't say any more about it. I don't even want to give it much airtime because it's cringe shit. But I want this journalist because no matter what, I don't want to say too much about it because if this fella does the right thing, you know, I'll put the reasons why it's happened and everything else, and I'll give the credit he's due. But if it doesn't, you know, look, somebody's been paid for that story, and this journalist, whatever he is, he's been paid for that story. I don't take money. I don't take money for interviews. I don't get paid. I do things to explain, and I don't even like touching on my past, but it is what it is, and everybody knows about my past. It's like what we're going to talk about my past again for when it's been mentioned 50,000 times already. You know, I've done what I've done, and that's it. We move on, don't we? I'm getting on. I'm an oldish man, so at the end of the day, it happened in my younger years. So what? We move on. We do our best, brush ourselves down, and that's it. So to come out with all this cringe crap. But to be misled, that's the thing. That's what I'm not happy about. To come under a guise of doing something when it's going to be something else, another thing. So the only thing credible I can say about this guy, he said to me, well, I don't know how much you got paid, but I said to him, I said, you know this, what you got paid? I said, this is evil money. You know that, don't you? I said, because you're putting somebody down. That's only putting good things out there. I said, and God pays back. I said, he went, I believe in God and I'll give that money to your charity. I said, for one, I don't have a charity. It's not my charity. I said, there's some prominent people at the back of that charity and I support the charity because it does good things for people.
Boxers in need, ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
I said, but secondly, that money is filthy money. You couldn't give that in that charity. That's dirty money. I said, do you understand? That's worse than drug money, what you've taken, isn't it? I said, because you've put a story out there which is wrong, false, an assassination of somebody's, as character. And that's what I've really done. Does it really bother me? Not really. People can say what they want, but it's just the audacity of it all. What people will do, step down to get a few quid off your back.
Isn't it like totally like, I mean, where does it come from? What, like I said, what's the benefit? What was the, I don't know, the apple that fell from the tree and hit someone on the head and thought, oh, I know, I'm going to do a interview with, or I want to speak to Peter Fury and then go rake through his past. And I mean, where has that come from? What,
you know what it is? I look back.
Yeah.
When I started looking into this and I started having dialogue with this fella, and I said, basically, what have you done there? I said, who's give you permission to go and do that? I said, slander my name like that. I said, what, to them? I don't talk to the tabloids. You didn't tell me he was going in there. Anyway, so then I look back through the messages and I seen he'd been asking for an interview since April 2024. So, and I looked at it and I said to him, I've got the messages, and I said to him, you know what? And he mentioned me past there. I said, you know what? I spoke about my past time and time again. I don't want to discuss it anymore, so I don't want the interview. Forget about it. But obviously, as time's gone on, he's come back to me again. He seemed a very nice fella. I've only done the interview out of kindness for this guy. So I can help him and he can get himself a few quid. Don't mind that. But do things properly. So whatever's happened, whatever's not, he needs to put that right. I don't want an apology as well. Do I really care about an apology? No, but it's not the point. I want an apology from him to see what they've done there.
When you did speak to you, what questions was he asking you? Did he go over your past? Because you're saying that like some of the stuff in there, you're making the assumption that it's like fabricated.
To be fair to the guy, I think the guy was sorry when he's seen it. I don't know what's happened there, whether the guy's desperate for money. I don't know what's happened. But if it was me, I'd say, there's the money back, take that down. If I wasn't responsible for that story, yeah, and I haven't looked at it.
I was about to say, did they ask you to pre-read it? Did you like to proofread it before it went out?
I don't know anything. I'm not going to pre-read anything. I don't care. Put out what they want. I don't tell lies anyway. I say what's on the tin. So unless somebody wants to distort lie and make things into lies, that's another matter, which has clearly happened here to a great extent. But the thing is, we are where we are with it. So we'll just have to wait and see. But what did he say? Today's news, tomorrow's toilet roll.
True.
So I'm not really going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to sue anybody. I couldn't care less.
But it's
I know what's right and I know what's wrong. So that's what matters. But I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed that people can do that. So, which is another point. Anybody reading these tabloids has got to read it and just at face value. Because, well, that's what I was going to say. The thing what the guy did do, to be fair to him, I said, send me the interview. I said, you recorded that interview? Send me. And to be fair to him, he sent me the interview, the whole interview on email. I have it. So what I'm going to do is...
Oh, dear.
I'm going to send you the whole interview. Yeah? You listen to it. And if you want to put it out there to the public...
No, I would never do that.
I don't care. You got my permission if you want to put it out there. Because that's what I'm saying. There's nothing there. It's like... It's a load of shit to sell a story. That's what it is. But no, I don't talk to... I certainly won't be talking to any newspapers unless it's strictly about boxing.
Yeah, it's really, because I was thinking when I saw that.
Even then now, yeah, they'll have to go through somebody else to get anything off me in future because this won't be happening again.
Well, that's what I thought. I was thinking, even when I was thinking, I need to catch up with Peter. And I thought after this, he's going to tell me to do one because it makes it difficult. It can make it difficult when you're burned. You do get that in boxing. Some fighters they'll ask, what media outlet are you with? Or you know, whatever, and oh no, not talking to you, and you could be somebody innocently, say, working for that media outlet, but it's like you're already blackballed because of what's happened. So I get it. It ruins it for other people.
Well, it can, but like not in your case. I know you, so, but I do know you, and we are close, so there's no issue, is there? But
No.
with other people, definitely not. If I don't know them, you got no chance. No.
Oh, Peter, before we go, what's happening with young Savannah? Because she signed to MVP. The MVP have got her now, ain't they?
Yeah. As far as I know, she was having some time out. She's had a holiday, and I've not spoken to Savannah for some weeks now. But yeah, I believe she's all right. And you know, I can't say what she's going to do because I don't know, because we have not had a discussion. So that's where we are.
Fair enough. Peter, before we go then, I just want to say thank you. Well, from the very beginning, from when I first met you, you were always one of the nice guys in boxing. Got a lot of time for you. I remember, I think it was Hughie Fury that was fighting in Newcastle. That's when I first met you. I think that was his return fight. And I was, you know, I've always watched you in the corners, so I knew who you were before. But I always do appreciate people that give me the time. I do appreciate the honesty. I do learn so much off you guys, even today when you're talking about how to deal with different fighters, how to deal with, you know, tabloids, your opinion on fighters and where they are in their career. It's always a learning point. And as we come to the end of 2025, we could just do with more honesty and just more people just saying it how it is, even sometimes if you feel a bit pissed that somebody's told you about yourself.
Some people can say whatever they want. It's a free world out there. So just, the truth is hard to tell, isn't it? That's it. So
You think so?
truth is very hard for people to tell, because I think we're all in smoke and mirrors times anyway. That's what I believe.
Mm.
If people can be murdered, mutilated, bombed, and everybody can go to the shop and talk about a packet of butter in Asda, you know, where are we going? You see a lot of atrocities, don't you? I've stopped watching the news anyway because it makes me sick. So that's where we are. But getting back to the training, it's a hard job, this. Listen, I work hard every single day. It's not a given, boxing. There's no magic wand. I work hard every day, and I train the fighters mostly 2 times per day. That's what happens. To drum it into them and get them to where I need to get them. So it's not an easy task. So all trainers out there are the same. The dedication is on another level. And to be honest, there's no time for anything else, because it's boxing, 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 boxing. If I'm not in the gym, somebody's ringing me and talking to me about boxing. So this is where,
Baby.
and to say that I'm sick to death of boxing, I'm sick of it, but I end up keep doing it. So I don't know why I keep doing it, because I keep saying to myself, I don't know why I keep doing it. Why do I keep doing it? Why do I go and look at that gym? I'm sick to death looking at the gym, but yet I go back in the gym. So that's where we are. So just accept me fate. It is what it is.
It's the baby that never grows up, isn't it, Peter? Boxing. I
don't know what it is, but we're all probably mentally ill in the brain because we the fighters take the punches, yeah, but it's just just as horrific on the other side of the ropes, because it's on a serious note, it's a very hard sport and people work very hard in it, and they all need credit at the lower end of the scale, at the top end of the scale. It's hard work. So, but to achieve good things, what have you got to do?
Work harder than everybody else.
Or at least be up there on the same level. Not.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be lacking, aren't you?
Definitely. Listen, Peter, thank you so much for your time today. We'll have to do this more regular, you know. I keep saying this, but I know you're busy and I don't like to be a pest. But I think in 2026, I'm going to be a pest and I'm going to bother you. I'm going to say, let's do this more often.
Doing stuff, you know, I'll do stuff with you, whatever, as long as we've got fresh things to talk about.
Yeah.
If things to talk about, then it's good. But, you know, how can you do an interview every week? What would you be talking about? What you've eaten today? You know what I mean? So there's not like what you can discuss, is it? Getting up every day. Some days on the right side, some days on the wrong side.
I don't know. People might want to listen to that from Peter. You never know.
Listen, I've got better things to do than discuss bullshit every day. It's hard enough getting up every morning and getting on with your job, isn't it? Never mind discussing trike. But yeah. No, I thank God we're here. I thank God for every day. And, you know, and all the people that are suffering around the world. Pray to God, the blessed Lord answers the prayers. And, yeah, and the people are suffering the loss of life. What AJ's had to go through now, what he's going through, losing them two friends of his. You know, listen, that's real problems. That's when you've got real problems.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we can get up every morning and do what we do. And all our families are okay. And our close friends are okay. It's a battle because as you get older, you see, well, this one's got a problem or that one's got a problem.
True.
So, you know, we just got to live every day as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we don't know. We just don't know. We definitely do not know what tomorrow's going to bring. That's for sure.
Yeah. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. But the wonderful Peter Fury, he will be back because I will be pestering him in the future. Listen, Peter, God bless to you and your family. Have a happy new year when it gets here.
Yeah, and have a great 2026. And let's
Absolutely.
you having some very, very good interviews with some very prominent people in boxing.
Yeah,
you've been having quite a few, haven't you? So
yeah, you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've seen you with some very prominent people having interviews. So obviously you're good because you're getting interviews with them all. So it's working for you. And I'm pleased to see it.
I appreciate that. Right. I'm going to let you go, Peter. I'm not very good with compliments, but thank you very much. But I'm going to let you go. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Fury.
Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.